Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit temptationstreats.com to learn more.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Big Boss. I'm Mike. John. We're Judicator. And this is the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dark Macek, and we are here with John and Mike from Judicator. When I say here, I do mean Roskilde, Denmark. We came all the way here from Epic Fest. I was worried I was going to be the only American I talked for the next few days, but thankfully you guys showed up.
Yeah,
so,
welcome.
How are you two doing?
Amazing. Very good. It's been a little bit tiring with the jet lag and then the constant socialization, but it's a labor of love.
Sure. How long? Did you do a red-eye flight here?
No, we came on Monday. We arrived Tuesday, which is good because historically jet lag has kicked my ass. So I need like a day and a half, 2 days to recover.
You were both here Monday, or?
Yeah. So we both arrived at the same time. We were on the same flights. We were both taking naps at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like preparing for this wildness that is Epic Fest.
I was desperately trying not to sleep on your shoulder.
Yeah, but he did though.
I did. I was.
That's a cute little bromance right there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I was actually on the same flight as Shadow Strike.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because they're New York boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We actually did our interview in the airport in like one of the waiting areas. I was like, that's way too funny. We can't not do that. So you just put out Concord last Friday. Like, have you gotten some good reception on it? How's it going?
Yeah, it's been interesting because it's coming out kind of coinciding with Epic Fest. So I've noticed it's kind of competing with Epic Fest in terms of publicity, but we have a content calendar and it is just booked with tons and tons of great reviews and interviews and whatnot. So I've been very, very pleased with it. The Majesty of Decay was perhaps our most critically acclaimed album, surprisingly enough, because I know it was also a little bit polarizing. But I've been very happy with the amount of 9 out of 10s. We got a 9.5 out of 10 from PowerMetal.de yesterday. Some 8 out of 10s. No bad reviews. So I'm happy about that.
Brutally Delicious. We don't assign ratings. We just talk about what we like.
And honestly, I think that's more the better way to do it, because every time, sorry to eat up all of the space, but like when
you're great.
Every time when the album is done, in the album process, I listen to it start to finish, and I go on a walk and I think like, what is this? Like an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10? God forbid it's a 7 out of 10. But I just noticed, like, after the album was done, I was walking and thinking to myself, and then I realized, oh, I'm still smiling. And I thought, you know what, this album makes me feel good. And so whatever the arbitrary rating you assign to it is, this album makes me feel good. And so that's a nice little epiphany.
Very nice.
I have nothing to add to that. That was great. Good job.
I'm like struggling to think in my head. The way I always review albums. Sorry, are you also in the band?
Yeah, this is.
I saw you hovering. I was like,
this is Big Boss, our bassist.
Is that your actual name, like on your sports
I'm John as well, so we don't get confused.
Sure. You know,
John too.
The reason why Ace Frehley is called Ace Frehley is because his name is also Paul. They couldn't have 2 Pauls in the band in Kiss. Okay, hey, what's going on? So this is like your 7th album in what, 4 years?
No. We've been together.
Sorry.
The band has existed since 2012.
13.
So yeah, but it's crazy to think that the band has existed over 10 years. That's longer than my marriage. That's that's nice.
Did I just say 7 albums in 4 years?
That would be a tight schedule.
I think I got it backwards. I'm sorry. Fucking jet lag. But yeah, how do you keep the creativity going? Like this long on, you're still producing new content, even if it is sometimes polarizing. But
I think it's always having a head start. So the album Concord just came out, and I've already got creative ideas for the creative direction. We're already talking about strategies for what the next album is going to look like. We never want any 2 albums to be too similar. We want to keep it creatively interesting, so we have some ideas that I think will make the next album a unique and fun step in a different direction.
So stylistically, something that I was like kind of interested in. When I got the promo, Bruce, who runs the podcast, said like, "Hey, this is power metal or so, you'll like it." And when I listened, I just joked. I talked with the guys in Battleborn. If you want to make power metal, you take the chords to Africa and put double bass drumming under it, and that is a solid formula. But you guys have more riffs. Is there like? I mean, it's not just formulaic. I thought there was like a lot of like. I don't want to say creativity and non-generic, because frankly, those are generic terms. But it was more like you wrote something that like took effort. Where's like, are there specific influences that are going into like, hey, let's do more riff-based songs that are still melodic?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Concord especially is we all came to the table with different ideas of what we wanted to do, and we all have very different backgrounds as far as music and like our influences go. So this was like a very much, it was an amalgamation of a bunch of different styles, a bunch of different talents, a bunch of different ideas, and that just kind of melded together into the album. So we didn't go into it with like an idea in mind besides, you know, the Wild West.
A general direction.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we are thinking of changing with the next album is traditionally, up until about 2020, it was myself and the co-founder of the band, Alicia Cordisco, basically she would handle all music, I would handle all lyrics, and long story short, we're kind of playing around with moving away from that. I still want to maintain control over lyrics and be the creative director or whatever. But everybody has great ideas, and I think Concord was a nice dipping our toe into the water. And I think the next album will be more collaborative, and I'm really excited to see what kind of magic juice we generate.
And are you doing one of those in like 2 years? You're gonna get like 9 albums 5 and 9 or something?
We'll try.
We will try, because there's a possibility, nothing is signed, but there's a possibility we come back to Europe in 27. And I will say, Concord being released so close to Epic Fest has made it financially easier to make this happen. So I'm thinking if we get our shit even more together, and actually commit with like a European record label to make European distribution easier, then we can make coming over to Europe maybe a little bit more of a common thing.
Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
What's really funny is every time I talk to European bands, I swear it's like I gotta stop because it's so generic now, but I always ask them, when are you hitting the US? For you guys, do you get a lot of when you're coming back to Europe?
Yeah, over the years, and that's why we did like a hangout, like not a meet and greet, although I guess it was a meet and greet, but it was more of an eat and greet, because we went to get doner kebab, and what else did we do?
Just walk around.
Cemetery.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah, right. It was.
Yeah, it was pleasant, and I hope to come back, and people stop us all over in there wanting to talk to us. So
yeah.
yeah, it's rewarding to finally be able to say hi and chat and stuff.
But I will say the American festival scene is nothing like it is out here. Like there's a big like touring scene in America. So like you'll go to a show or 2 shows on a tour, but there's nothing like this. Like this is pretty uniquely.
Then you played Mile High last year, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I remember seeing the photos. Have you ever done Mad with Power? Like,
yeah, we did Mad with Power. I forget when, if it was 2019. We hope to get back on Mad with Power sometime. There's a lot of really good young metal festivals popping up that do terrific work. Mile High is terrific, Hyperspace, Mad with Power. I'm really excited for the future of metal festivals. I just really hope that it seems like longevity has been an issue historically.
right.
So I hope they're in it for the long game and they can really, really make something happen.
Awesome. So, something else I was talking with the Shadow Strike guys about, but like, please give me your perspective, especially given what you just said. I don't know that I've ever heard of a thrash metal festival in my life. They had the Big Four shows like 15 years ago, but that's more of a tour than a festival.
Exactly.
But I've never heard of like, hey, Creator, Anthrax, and Exodus playing shows. That probably has happened, but I haven't heard of it. Here, like, Fabio Lione just got off stage, and the entire fucking audience was singing Emerald Sword. That was like...
And it was chills inducing.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Like, when I saw, like, Kiss, like, I don't think that much of the audience was singing Rock and Roll All Night.
Yeah.
Maybe Queen singing We Are the Champion. They just played that funny. But, like, what is it about this scene that lends itself to festivals, even though it's not as financially big as thrash was?
So I think like Big Boss and I have more of an insider's perspective, and then I'd be curious to get Mike's perspective, because Mike is definitely more from cut from prog rock, prog metal stock. I would say power metal feels like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like a smaller community, but a much more tight-knit community, intimate community, and so it feels like there's a lot of like crossbreeding, or everybody knows this and that band, and so I think it's easier. I mean, Europe is where it's all at, and so it's easier.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I mean,
Mr. New to Power Metal guy?
I mean, I'm new to power metal. I'm seeing all these bands for the first time ever, so I'm learning a lot, and it's fucking incredible. I will say, coming from like a more progressive metal scene, it's similar. It's a similar scene where everybody knows everybody, and everybody is like rooting for everybody else. But it's also like people are willing to travel. People are willing to like, this is the time to go, right? So people are like willing to go take a plane, take a train. They're
I did
here
both.
for the weekend, right? Like we've done all of the above.
I met a guy. I met a guy who came. We met a guy who came to the Eat and Greet from Japan, Hiroshi, and there were 2 gentlemen from Indonesia. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not just Europe. There's Americans. There's Europeans, Asians.
I presume there's got to be Brazilian somewhere here. I know.
I saw a woman with a Brazil shirt, and that's a Brazilian thing.
Just yell 7-1. she'll be happy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome. I guess just last thing, because this was like super puzzling when I first looked you up before I reviewed Concord. Metal Archives lists your themes, like lyrical themes, as I think it was historic concepts and then existentialism.
Yeah.
That I can safely say never had that on my bingo card. I think that's unique. Explain, please.
Well, so
Take it away, John.
Yeah. The common threads throughout our discography definitely are history and existentialism. So with the historical albums, there's like character studies of Napoleon Bonaparte, Frederick the Great, Belisarius, to a lesser extent Godfrey de Bouillon, if I'm pronouncing that right, from the First Crusade.
Sounded pretty good.
I know one of those people.
But then we have albums like The Majesty of Decay and At the Expense of Humanity that really grapple with heavily existential topics, dealing with like cancer, the loss of a loved one, or yourself, that kind of thing. So, I kind of view Judicator as my own therapy, where I can work through issues that are interesting or concerning to me. Death has historically been a big one. So yeah, death, faith, history, the meaning of life, life's deepest questions.
Awesome. Dudes, thank you so much for this. Awesome seeing you. Wait, you're playing tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow night,
Yes. Okay.
12:30 to 1:30 Sunday morning.
Oh, that's like 6 p.m. New York time, so I'm fine. Awesome.
Don't get too drunk, tired, or hungover.
Hello, Tom May here, host of Future Friday. I've spent the last 15 years on the road with my band, The Menzingers, where I've met all kinds of wild and fascinating people. So I started a podcast. On Future Friday, I talk to fellow musicians about the moments that made them, their passions outside of music, and the curiosities that tie us all together. I've also talked to the likes of UFO researchers, magicians, soldiers, and documentary filmmakers, and I'm constantly searching for folks that can shape and change our view of the world. You can check out Future Friday wherever you like.
Hey, what's up? My name's Lurk, and I'm the host of Lambgoat's Van Flip podcast. Every week, I have in-depth conversations with bands from all over the scene, big and small. We also like to keep our finger on the pulse and showcase up-and-coming bands on the show as well. So come check out Lambgoat's Van Flip podcast.